Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Daryl Steinberg. I am proud to be the mayor of Sacramento, and I want to thank the over 100 nonprofit and community-based organizations who have gathered here today in the only way we know how in this era, virtually, to talk about an exciting new initiative by the City of Sacramento where we need your help. As you know, Sacramento happily qualified for $89 million worth of CARES relief money as a result of barely meeting the population threshold of $508,000. And many jurisdictions around the country took different strategies around how they wanted to spend that money. As a city council and as a city team, we decided early on that we wanted to, and in fact needed to, invest that money directly in the community. Because what you live every day and what you see every day, we see too. That as a result of this unprecedented pandemic, and of course all that has followed from the pandemic, that our small businesses, our working people, our nonprofit communities, families, children, are all suffering real impacts and real effects. And though the city itself cannot make up for all of the loss, I'm proud of the fact that the city council decided to put 80 out of that $89 million directly into our community in 4 discrete categories that often overlap. $20 million for youth and for workforce development, $20 million for small business assistance, $20 million for housing and homelessness, and $20 million for tourism and the creative economy. And the remaining money in a variety of health and human services needs, including mental health assistance, to help those who aid victims of domestic violence, deal with what has tragically been an upswing and an increase in domestic violence. And so we have a great blueprint, and our city council and our city management team, our economic development team, have been working overtime to make sure that we match these resources with the people and the businesses that are most in need. But there is a big difference between an ambitious plan on a piece of paper or on a series of spreadsheets and making sure that the money actually reaches the people and the communities that need it most. And that's where you come in here. Today, we want to talk to you and listen to you about our launching of a COVID relief campaign through a virtual launch. Specifically, we want to kick off today a robust marketing effort to ensure that the dollars, again, get where the need is the greatest. I cannot say enough about the role of the nonprofit and community-based organization community here in Sacramento. We understand that while government may oftentimes be a positive catalyst, that the real work is being done in the community. It's being led by you, it's being done by you, because you are the organizations and the people who are working day to day with the people who need help the most. And so we are going to introduce, among other things today, an outreach stipend program in recognition for your time, energy, and commitment. You'll hear more about that later, but we want to give you some resources so that you can help best connect these dollars with our diverse Sacramento communities. Our goal, of course, is everyone's goal, which is to get through this period of time, to regain our momentum, to relaunch the initiatives that were beginning or ongoing prior to the pandemic. But in the meantime, let this money be the glue and the investment that helps save businesses that help save people, that help save families, that help provide food for hungry people while we continue through this challenging period of time. I want to turn it over to Michael Jasso, who is our Assistant City Manager in charge of the implementation effort. Michael, first of all, thank you for you and your team's great work over these many months. And why don't you take it from here, and we will get right into the substance of what we want to talk to you about here today. Go ahead.
Sure. So with that, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your leadership on this and the support of the council as we've moved forward collectively on trying to address this challenge before our community. Good afternoon to Sacramento and to everyone else plugging into this. So as the mayor had mentioned, the City of Sacramento in April received the $89.6 million of federal government support through the CARES Act to help us address the specific impacts of COVID that are affecting our community fiscally and in terms of health. The funding is being used for a variety of programs targeted at helping our residents and businesses and organizations impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Mayor Steinberg already laid out that he had put forward a basic framework, which his leadership helped garner the support of the entire City Council, and once again addressing small business recovery, youth and workforce training, affordable housing and homelessness efforts, and the creative economy. While we are appreciative of the $89.6 million, we also know that our needs far outpace that. So we were trying to be strategic in everything we were doing to support our businesses and residents. So to that end, you may ask, what are we doing with those resources and how are they available to the public and businesses? So we're offering a variety of services to local residents and businesses. Our small business recovery program provided forgivable loans and technical assistance to our businesses. And we know that that's going to reach not just the 1,500 some businesses that have received forgivable loans from the city, but in fact, many of the businesses that exist throughout the city, both on our corridors, but spread out throughout the city. Our workforce recovery program provides workforce training and placement, and we're hoping through those programming, which we just launched, and with many partners, we'll be able to reach over 11,000 Sacramentans. Also supporting work has been done for our creative economy, through our creative economy recovery grants that are reaching both our institutions in terms of the cultural economy, but our many artists and throughout Sacramento, and we're moving that forward. Sac Youth Works is a new summer jobs program that will help put teams to work. And then as a final example, but not the final in impact, the Great Plates Delivered program is a program that Sacramento has launched using our CARES dollars, but also FEMA dollars, that is providing much needed meals to our most vulnerable seniors. So this week, we continue to move forward with programming. We plan to open up applications for a second round of creative economy grants. And we'll begin outreach and accepting applications for those applications to help provide laptops and internet to those in needs through our digital access and broadband efforts. So with that, I would like to turn it over back to the mayor, and I'm sure we'll have lots of questions at the end of this. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just had to slip away for one minute. I am back here. I want to now turn it over to Tim Swanson, who is the city's of Sacramento Media and Communications Manager, who will be giving you a look at our recovery effort we're proud to be launching this week. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor Steinberg. So good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here with us today. A key part of our outreach efforts is a new website that we've just launched this week. And it's a pleasure of mine to share it with you. It's sacramentocovidrelief.org. And this website really builds upon the work we've been doing since the beginning of this pandemic. And what we want to do is create a singular central location, or hub, if you will, for all the resources, services, and opportunities made possible by the CARES Act funding. We wanted to make this website as easy to use as possible and as easy to navigate as possible. And with that in mind, we've created tailored pathways for specific audiences. So there's one for individuals and families. There's one for businesses and nonprofits. There's one for workers. So people can come into this website, figure out the track they want to access, and then get the information they need as quickly as possible. And then once they go through those tracks, users are taken to curated interior pages that have descriptions and links to programs that are valuable to people. I encourage everyone to spend some time with this website if you have an opportunity to do so, and give us any feedback that you might have that might help us to improve what we're offering to Sacramentans. You know, as we were putting this together, we really wanted to make this a one-stop shop for people. And with that in mind, we also included state information, county information, and information from school districts on this website to help people. The site is built in English, but it also includes the ability to instantly toggle and translate into other languages. And in addition to launching this site this week, we also launched a concentrated marketing campaign to make sure that all Sacramentans are aware of the COVID relief resources that are available to them. And over the next 4 months, we will be running a lot of marketing and advertisement via digital, social media, print, outdoor, radio, that deliver messaging in multiple languages, including Spanish, Chinese, Hmong, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. And in addition, you soon will be hearing public service announcements on stations such as KCRX 99.9, KHHM 103.5, KD 97.5, and you'll also be seeing useful information in publications such as Sacramento Observer and De Primera Mano. And while we're making a significant investment in marketing and advertisement, we know it's not enough to ensure that Sacramentans have all the information they need during these difficult times. And for that reason, we're also investing in a stipend program to engage community-based organizations, all of you, in our outreach efforts.
Thank you, Tim. Are you?
That's
Yes. It. That's good for now. Now let me turn it over to Lynette Hall, Sacramento's Community Engagement Manager, to talk in even more detail about our outreach plan and how we can best work in partnership with you. Lynette?
Thank you much, Mayor. As the Mayor and Tim has said, you all play a critical role in helping us to ensure that the CARES Act funds and the programs really benefit the residents in our city who need it the most. We need your help in reaching those hard to reach businesses and people. And so you'll hear a little bit about those efforts today, but more importantly, what I'm excited about is the stipend to recognize the efforts that we know all of you all provide for us. Starting today, we invite you all to visit our new website, which Tim talked about, sacramentocovidrelief.org, and apply to be a part of our CBO and partner outreach program. Please note that the application, which is available online today, it is live today. We intentionally made the application simple and easy. Our goal is to get the money out as soon as possible so that you all have the support you need to ensure, again, that the messages get out. On the website, you will find an overview of the 3 stipend levels. They range from $500 to $5,000, as well as the application. Outlined are the bare minimum requirements, but again, we encourage you to really elaborate on exactly how you can provide the value. Funding is limited to $100,000, so I encourage you all after the webinar today to please go on and take about 5 minutes and fill out the application. We want to ensure that we're supporting not only organizations, but people. So we do recognize we have some key social media influencers in our community, and here is a way for us to provide support for you all to continue to do what you have always done. We want to ask you to keep posting on social media. Distribute information via your network, whether that's a newsletter, flyers, make the information available to your community. Also on the website, you'll find a really cool toolkit, which will be updated as the weeks go on. Please provide this information, share it on your social medias. We've included pre-written social media posts and images that you can easily post on your social media. We'll have news articles in both English, Spanish, Chinese, traditional and simplified, Tagalog, Hmong, and Vietnamese. Other languages are available as requested. We are committed to ensuring that cultural and language barriers do not prevent residents or businesses from being informed. We hope that you will start using the toolkit today and to start letting people in the community that you serve know about the new site and, more importantly, this mini grant program. As additional programs and opportunities are rolled out, including the programs that were mentioned from Michael, the Arts Grant and the Digital Equity Response Program, we will also include new toolkits for that material as well. Applications, again, for our mini grant program are live today and will close September 25th. So again, we encourage you to go online as soon as possible and complete the application. I would like to now open the floor for questions. If you look at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A section, and we will open up for questions. Feel free to type your questions in there.
Okay.
And let's see if we have some questions. Where will applications for computers and internet service be available? That will be available next week. The program will roll out next week. And again, all of that information will be easily available online. Can 501c3 neighborhood associations receive funding through Relief Outreach? What about non-registered neighborhood groups without a fiscal sponsor, individual residents? The answer to that question is yes on all fronts. We encourage not only nonprofits, individuals, we want to make sure that the information is getting to where it needs to get to. The application is located on the website. Kim, can we pull up the website once again that shows exactly where the application is located? It's on the overview page, and if you scroll down at the end of that paragraph, there is a link. Is this for City of Sacramento outreach only? The programs and services are for residents that are located in the City of Sacramento or businesses located in the City of Sacramento. What other ways can individuals help other than social media, and how can we volunteer? So we encourage you all to get creative in the application and tell us how you think is the best way for people in your community to be notified. So we do understand everyone is not on social media, so we encourage people to make flyers. And again, that's why we want to provide financial support, so that if you all want to print flyers, utilizing churches as well, we can provide some PDFs that can be uploaded. A lot of churches are still doing Zoom, and so we encourage you all to use some of the digital, the items in the digital toolkits that are provided for things of that nature as well. So we encourage you all to get creative. We are not limiting how the information, you know your community best. Do folks have to register as a vendor with the City of Sacramento to participate? Absolutely not. Again, we are trying to make this as easy as possible. You do not have to register as a vendor to participate. Can grantees re-grant receive funds to community members to do outreach, acting as a hub of sorts? Adrian, can you better elaborate on that question? Maybe if you're receiving funds for the city for something else, it doesn't limit you on providing outreach for this. So again, we are just looking for organizations and people that can get the information out.
Lunette?
Yes.
So I would say it's definitely a possibility. I would want to make sure that when you apply for the grant, that you clearly stipulate how you would use them and how you would select them, because we want to make sure that there was an unbiased process in terms of getting participants to share the workload.
Thank you, Michael. Will you be able to view this Zoom conference again? Great question. Absolutely. This is being recorded and it will be uploaded on our website. We will also be taking the questions and sending some follow-up to you all and those that have registered but may not have been able to attend. So we will make sure that we get this information. We also have a website, which is, or an email, excuse me, ce@cityofsacramento.org. Feel free to submit any questions you have. We will answer those as well.
What is it?
Yeah, so Chris, great question. We have a question around any specific hashtags that we would like you to use. Absolutely, we will provide some guidance. It's probably in the toolkit, but if not, I'm pretty sure it is. We will definitely provide that if you don't find that in the toolkit. The application, again, is located on the, you'll see the overview, and if you scroll down to the end of the paragraph, there is a button for apply. There is a question around what funds are available specifically for domestic violence nonprofits. I will let Michael answer that question. With regards to outreach, it's not limited to any areas, so they would be able to apply. But with regards to funds specifically for domestic violence, Michael or Tim, would you like to take that?
I will take a first stab at it with respect to, we did issue an RFP that was under, that came out the city. I don't know the status of it for not-for-profits and other providers working in the space on addressing domestic violence, but we can get more information on that on this as well. And there will be information on the website on that.
Thank you. So there's a question on what is included in the toolkit, graphics, language. Yes, graphics are included for various social media platforms. There's language that you can easily put with the graphics included on there as well. And again, we will be updating the toolkits as more programs roll out. Are you saying that nonprofits get resources from the city to promote access to these resources? Nonprofits or individuals may apply for the grant program to do outreach into the community. It is not limited on whether you're a for-profit, nonprofit, or an individual. Will funding for the outreach program be dispensed at the end of the program? And I will let Tim answer that question. I believe that they are given the funds up front, but Tim, go ahead. And
It's my understanding that it's going to be sequenced. So there will be some money initially and some when certain materials have been shared and there's confirmation of that.
However, we will clarify that answer after this call when we send out kind of a summary of the call. I'll make sure that we clarify that information, whether or not the funds are dispersed at the beginning or at the end. There are some reporting requirements. So keep that in mind, that we just want to make sure that there's transparency on our side as well as on your side. And again, there's some other questions around, is the stipend a one-time payment or once a month? The stipend is it is a one-time payment. However, we will elaborate a little bit more on whether or not the full payment is up front or at the end. Is there a desire to ensure that all grantees across all council districts are certain areas prioritized? I would say yes, we are prioritizing hard to reach places. So we would like to ensure that all council districts, but as you know, within all districts, there are still hard to reach people and businesses. And so our goal for this is to ensure that every Sacramentan has access to the same resources and programs as someone else, regardless of what district you're in. Will you be connecting like-minded applicants? So if there is more than one organization looking to provide a similar service, will that help encourage partnerships? So I would say if we identify some synergies, that's something that we can definitely look at on a case-by-case basis. I would encourage you all, when you fill out the application, to indicate that. If you think that there's some people that you should partner with, I would encourage you all to think about that when you submit your application. And more so, time is of the essence. And so we are really wanting to get things rolling. And so it'll be on a case-by-case basis as far as connecting. If you would like, if there's some capacity issues, again, that's why we have different tiers, so that we can make sure that you all have the capacity to do what it is that we're asking. Can you please provide the specific link to apply? Absolutely. At the conclusion of this meeting, we will ensure that we send the link directly to you all. And it's the link that's provided here on the screen. Are you going to list the SHRA rental assistance programs on the site?
I can answer that one. We're updating our copy right now on some homeless and rehousing services, and that's in the process right now, and it should be on the site perhaps tomorrow or by no later than the end of this week.
Tim, if I could also add on to that's a general question about our partners in general. So for instance, we have extensive partnerships already ongoing with whether it's the Sacramento Metropolitan Chamber, the Asian Chamber, the Inclusive Economic Development Coalition, many other partners who are receiving funding to provide services, etc. This is a good place to see all of those partnerships. And you may have kind of relationships with some or want to build relationships with some as we move forward. So it's a good place to see everyone that the city is working with.
Thank you. We have a question. Have you reached out to various business/HR leaders as an outreach mechanism? They are more in touch with their employees who might need support. So the answer is no. We encourage you all to share this information. We know that our community-based organizations are working really closely with the community, but again, we encourage you all, this is one of those things, please tell a friend. We have a question, is your request an all or nothing? For example, if I ask for $3,000, could I be awarded less? The answer is, it depends. It'll be on a case-by-case basis. Again, we really want you to elaborate on what your capacity is. And so the criteria that is set for the different tiers will indicate what the bare minimum. And so again, this is where you all are encouraged to brag about what your reach really is. Will city resources besides funding be available? Translation services, graphic design, access to key contacts. So this grant program is specifically for outreach. We have included translation, so translations is included in here. And then graphic design, we have hired a firm that is doing a lot of this work. And so we're not necessarily looking for graphic design. This 100,000 allocation is specifically for outreach.
In other words, we'll be providing translated materials to people and designed materials for people to share with their networks and their communities.
What is my job title? My job title, I'm a community engagement manager. There is a question on the reporting requirements. Would someone like to respond to the reporting requirements? If not, we will include those again on the follow-up. But I believe there are monthly reporting requirements. We just want to know, if you said that you're hosting a workshop, that you actually hosted the workshop. If you're posting, if you have 50 friends on social media that you're posting to, we want to know that as well. Can you briefly talk about the computer and laptop opportunity again? I'll let Michael take a stab at that, but again, that program will kick off next week, and all of that information will be available online. It will provide 1,000 laptops and Wi-Fi for up to 10,000 homes, I believe.
Well, so I don't think there's much to add out of that, Lynette. I think you covered it well. And I noticed that Stephanie Bray is on the call among the attendees. So if we want to give a little bit about the program, I'm sure Stephanie would be able to jump in, as well as I thought I saw Maria McGonigal on it as well.
But again, we encourage you all to use the website. All of that information will be on there. And United Way, Stephanie Bray is actually the organization that is leading that effort. Is there a time frame for doing outreach? So the time frame for outreach is now, today, after the call. We are actively doing outreach. Again, these are CARES Act funds, and so all funds must be spent by the end of the year, December 31st. So we really recommend that the site include more comprehensive list of all of the resources available for affordable housing and tenant issues. People are really scared and need as much support as they can. Kathy, thank you for those comments. We encourage you all, if you see something on our website that we could do better, please. We want this website to work, and it can't work if it doesn't work well for you all. So please feel free to send those comments to ce@cityofsacramento.org.
And I think that's a very important point that Kathy raises in general, which is, although this program is being funded because of the fact that we've received CARES dollars, we very much view it as a depository of everything and many things, whether it's CARES funded or not, things that come from the state, things that are kind of regulatory nature that we may have done as a city to help our our residents and businesses navigate through this COVID crisis. So it'll be a lot more resources than simply those that are CARE funded.
Thank you. So questions around the selection process. Again, I can't encourage you. We want to support you all to continue doing what you already do. We're not trying to make this difficult. If you haven't a chance to see, this is the easiest application for a grant process, excuse me, that you will ever see. Sustainability in the city, excuse me. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. And so essentially, we just want to know, who are you, and who do you know? Who's your target audience? Who are your stakeholders? Who do you have a connection with? And so the selection process will be, essentially we're trying to figure out who can reach the most people. So we're not trying to make this difficult. So questions specifically around the digital program around laptops. Ton Bennett, who is the VP from United Way, you're more than willing to connect with him. And he is at tom.bennett, BENNETT, at uwccr.org. We can also provide that after the call as well. Any other questions? Again, the commitment is till the end of the year. We encourage you all to get started as soon as possible. Give you all a couple of more minutes to see if there are any other questions. And again, the questions around whether or not it's a one-time payment or a monthly payment. It's not a monthly payment, but we will circle back as far as if it's a lump sum at the beginning, or is it broken up in the beginning and at the end, but it is not a monthly payment. Well, with that being said, I think that we've answered majority of the questions. If there are any other questions that I have not answered, please feel free to, again, email at ce@cityofsacramento.org. And again, the application is open now. And I'll do one more check on questions. Again, I thank you all. And yes, the recording will be shared after the meeting. It will be available online. Again, I thank you all for coming. We had a great turnout today. We can't do this without you. And so I want you all to take advantage of this. And again, I want to thank our mayor for his leadership, and also Michael Jasso for kicking a lot of these programs off. So again, thank you all. I look forward to working with you all in the future. And again, saccovidrelief.org. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.